Howdy, legends. We are back for another week-ending fun day, Sunday of the show. Let's be honest, what better way to end your week than to join us as we deliver to you yet another couple of champions of the content creating persuasion. I mean, that is what we are known for here on the show, are we not? Seeking out and delivering to you, right to your doorstep, in fact, the most exciting content creators from around the world, live and exclusive, nevertheless, right here on YouTube. Now, remember, since we are live, guess what that means? That means you get to play along with us and leave comments throughout the show. How awesome is that? I am still your host, and I am still Dan Stagliano. Welcome. Now, if you've been here with us the past couple of Sunday evenings, you'll no doubt be aware that we have featured the leading cast members from the groundbreaking YouTube web series, A Safe Distance. Now, if you weren't here with us last week, or the week before, I'm going to catch up real quickly. Ready? A Safe Distance is set in the first months of the COVID-19 pandemic and follows a group of loosely connected 20 or 30 somethings attempting to maintain their relationships, livelihoods, and their sanity while coping with the uncontrollable circumstances of a global pandemic. Aren't we all? But here's why this production was groundbreaking. The entire concept was cast, filmed, edited entirely remotely over the course of the COVID-19 quarantine. Don't believe me? Okay, here, take a little look. Now, as mentioned in the intro, this week is our Safe Distance finale. So today, we're a little bit super excited to have the two big bosses of the production right here with us. So please stand up, give them a massive show welcome. That would be just me giving them a welcome. But anyway, you get my point here. Happy Sunday. Meg and Dave, how are you guys?
Hello.
Hi,
thank
Dave.
you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Taking it. Hey, you guys are the ones who decided to join us after we begged and pleaded with you, and we're so grateful you did. We are so happy to have you guys here, wrapping up our Safe Distance trilogy, if I may, because it's about that big. Now, straight off the bat, Meg, I'm coming straight to you. In keeping with the theme of the series and current life circumstances, I want to know, on a serious note, how are you holding up with this new version of normal?
You know, you feel like going on a full year, that question would hopefully get easier, to answer. But we're coming on a year, and my answer really does vary day to day. So some days I'm just like, same pick, different disco, but we're still here. And then other days, you're met with a prolonged, deafening silence before I actually give an answer. But in all seriousness, all is good. I'm very fortunate that I remained employed during the pandemic, and that I have a great support system of family and friends, and of course my cat Buddy, who's off camera. And then I got to create this web series with Dave and Michelle. So it's the good outweighs the bad, for sure.
Nice. If nothing else, Meg, you smiled throughout that whole response. So you know what? I'm going to take that you're doing pretty well considering, my dear. And we love it. Keep on smiling. We want more of that today. Dave, over to you, sir. How are you holding up?
You know, it's It's been a challenging year, not just because of the pandemic, but because I'm also wrapping up my graduate program in Arizona. I'm getting my MFA in dramatic writing right now. And I kind of feel like, I'm fortunate that, while I do know a lot of people who lost their jobs and or gigs during the pandemic, I feel like I've actually been busier. Like Safe Distance, this web series was just like one project of like multitudes that I ended up working on since the pandemic began. So I definitely feel fortunate in that regard, although I'm quickly realizing that I need to take time for myself, which can be a challenge for me even in this pandemic. So all things considering, it could be a whole lot worse than it is.
I mean, I'd say, Dave, in fairness, given everything you just told us now, you're doing quite well. You know what? Keep them busy, busier than usual, which we found, we've had that as a response over the few weeks, which is obviously great to hear, given so many people have, as we've mentioned, lost our job. But can I stop you there, Dave? Congratulations. MFA in dramatic writing. Good work.
Thank you.
It's a long time coming.
We're not going to get there yet, Meg. I'm 29 years old today, by the way. It's thank you. No, it's a 3-year program, and my thesis play, or my final project, went up last weekend. It's a play called Light Switch that's about a queer autistic person trying to find love and acceptance, much like I am, if we're being real here. So I just need to do my written comps and then my oral thesis defense and then graduate, and then I'm good.
And so, Dave, in that case, since it sounds like you're right there on the cusp, what are the time frames until you're done and dusted? You're walking up there, you're suited up. How long until you get that last piece of the puzzle in place?
So my graduation date is currently, I think, May 3rd. I do know I'm taking my written comps, which is basically you have to write a 20-page paper about your writing process and how it's evolved in the graduate program. I'm taking those not this week, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. I'm getting my second COVID shot on Thursday, and I'm not dealing with side effects in a 20-page paper. And then my oral thesis defense has to be before April 16th. So basically March, April, May, and then done. MFA in hand. Woo.
And congratulations for that in advance from us on the show. Great work. And listen, we're even more. Yeah, there's the buzz. Thanks, Ebro. We're even more excited that you took some time out to spend with us. So let me move forward then, because I don't want to keep you guys. I know it's Sunday evening. There's probably shenanigans to get up to. Meg did mention it was your birthday, so we'll get to that at some point, Dave. Bear with me. I want to start with this trailblazing series, though. And Dave, I'm going to throw to you first, in fact. Here's what I want to know. What was the inspiration for the series? And I'm curious, was there a particular aspect of the pandemic that kicked off your idea for the series?
All right, I'm going to keep this short. So when I was 19, I took a bus to New York City, and I met a guy at the back of a bus, and we made out, spent the day together. It was great, but then it didn't really progress beyond that. And, I'm 19 at the time, and then kind of throughout my early 20s, I found myself frustrated with so many relationships and how people seem to want to keep a physical and emotional distance between each other. So I originally wrote Safe Distance as a play called Distance, kind of exploring that. And, me and Megan Michelle put it up as a stage reading in New York, which was great. But, the play really never went anywhere after that. So flash forward to the pandemic. I have a random thought in bed late at night. I wonder how Distance would play today. And then literally 2 days later, I get a text from Michelle saying, one of our friends said that Distance would be so relevant today. And I said, Michelle, I had the same thought. And not going to lie, initially I was kind of I really don't want to do this because it's just revisiting old feelings, yada, yada. But then as I started writing it, it became really therapeutic as my own way of kind of processing the pandemic, the way that I was experiencing it, and the way that my peers were experiencing it. And I think the aspect that I really want to explore is how only now, like, life has slowed down to such a point that it almost makes more sense for people you haven't spoken to in years to come back into your life. Like, I've reconnected with quite a few people I never thought I'd speak to ever again. And I was kind of interested in exploring what are the potential, like what could come of that, of like, you know, the world slowing down and then reconnecting with someone from the past, and how does that affect your present? So that was kind of the angle I really wanted to tackle the pandemic from with this series.
And I don't want to give any spoilers away because our boss Joe's always yelling at me the last couple of Sundays. Do not give that away, but in certain things you just said there, Dave, I will give our viewers a little heads up that a lot of those themes are explored throughout the web series. I shall say no more, but I'm hearing this from you going, oh, I remember that. Oh, I saw that. Oh, I remember. Oh, okay. Nice. But I shall stop there. I shall stop there. It's amazing how it morphed from a play and then given the unfortunate circumstances of the pandemic, but it was almost like you said, perfect timing to bring it out. It's almost like it was meant to be. Isn't it funny how the world works sometimes? Meg, I'm gonna switch focus over to you just for a second. So you're gonna play along with me here. Here's what I've got for you. So Dave comes to you and says, I have an idea and I want you to direct this. Then he says, oh, and by the way, every aspect of this production will be done remotely. And your first reaction is?
Yeah, let's do it, but let's also figure out how we're gonna do it. Yeah, so definitely that was the biggest challenge in directing this series, is just kind of figuring out, you know, can we do everything remotely and keep everybody safe and quarantined? And I really have to hand it to Zoom because it's really more than a video conferencing app. You really could film an entire show on it if you really wanted to. So we definitely spent a lot of our rehearsal time setting up the locations of our characters, where they will be filming from, and just, you know, figuring out Wi-Fi connection especially. But you are able to record on the Zoom app, and then you basically can take that footage and edit it. So there was definitely a lot of pre-production involved. Just figuring out how to utilize Zoom to the best of its ability. So this will definitely be a skill that I now have in my tool bag. Hopefully I won't need it for the future, but I have it now.
But in case anybody ever asks, you can be like, sit down, I've got this for you. Guess what I've done? Look, take a peek at this. I guess I take from that then that organisation, I mean, even more so than usual with the production, was key given what you were up against. But you touched on something, Meg, that I was actually going to follow up and ask you. The cast had mentioned in the previous weeks that navigating technology issues was one of the trickiest aspects of the production, which is understandable. As the director, you have to deal with so many moving parts in a regular production. But in this specific concept, what did you find to be the most testing aspect? And what was the most enjoyable part of it?
I want to focus on the enjoyable, because that's always me looking at the positives. I just really enjoyed working with great people. I loved our cast. I had worked with them before on the first iteration of Distance, because we brought a lot of the cast from that stage reading we did in New York into this. So it was cool to do sort of like a reincarnation of this play into a web series. And then also getting to work with people I've never worked with before. So Jason, Kabir, and Sarah, Kayla, they are fantastic actors, and I would absolutely work with them again. And then, yeah, so that was just really the enjoyable aspect, was working with everybody and making this series happen. Definitely the most challenging, you know, just getting the Wi-Fi to work. And then sometimes I would have the actors set up a certain way, and the shot wouldn't work. We had a running refrigerator issue for one of the shoots, and we spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out how do we get rid of the refrigerator noise. So we figured it out though. But yeah, just a lot of like unexpected stuff came up, but you roll with the punches for sure.
I mean, that's part of working on a set, but I've said this since week one when we've met with your cast members. You guys just did a fantastic job being able to put together a 6-part web series like this and to do it the way you did it. To me, it's amazing, and you should be so happy and proud of your work. And for everybody who hasn't seen it yet, we've been pushing this the last 3 weeks to our family of the show. All the details are going to be down the bottom. Get out there, watch it, sit at home while we're still kind of half locked down. You will enjoy it, and you'll see the magic that Dave and Megan and the other cast members were talking about. Now, Dave, I'm coming back to you. Obviously, you're a superstar writer. You just mentioned you're getting your MFA as well. So I assume as a writer you have a writing process that works for you, that you undertake. What I want to know is, within the parameters of this series, did you have to change that process, or was it just business as usual?
Honestly, it was business as usual. Any challenges I had in writing this were more emotionally than anything, because I tend to put a lot of my own emotion into my work, which I think contributes to my questionable mental health. But what I think did help was I had a process with Megan Milko about each episode. So basically, I would write a draft of each episode, and then Megan Milko would take a look at it, give their notes, and then I would go back, rewrite the episode, give it to them, they would give their notes, and then that was kind of how we did each episode. And I think that process really helped, because it helped that I was always having a second pair of eyes on things, who's going to be thinking differently. Like Meg is going to be thinking this directorially, Michelle, who's also coming at this as an actress and as producer. And for me, it was really fun to write in the Zoom medium. It's challenging because, I think one of the challenges we thought of this show is like, we're on Zoom all day. Who's going to want to watch a show that takes place on Zoom? So something that, Meg and I were very conscientious looking out for. What are some opportunities to have some movement in the background? So that way, it won't just be people in boxes talking the whole time. So it was a super productive process.
It sounds like an amazingly worked team process as well, which I completely understand, like you said, because you think of Zoom and you just see a face, in a box, but how, as actors, as producers, as writers, do you bring that alive and put it into a 6-part web series, no less? I tell you, my mind is still blown by that. It was a fantastic job. Here's what I want to do. I want to keep it all nice and positive now. You ready? Straight to you, Maggie. When everything opens back up, what is the one thing you're looking forward to most?
I guess I'll answer first. I am looking forward to traveling, because that was one of my 2020 goals, as sad as that is. I wanted to travel more. I made it to New Orleans on my first friendcation, which Dave was a part of. And that happened the first week of March. And guess what happens a week later? The world shut down. So I just can't wait to travel again. Yep, for sure.
Oh, I feel you on that, Meg. I feel you on that. Dave, what's the first thing you're looking forward to doing?
Being able to go to a movie or a play or Target or the grocery store or really any public place and not feel like my life is at risk from being in a crowd or around people. I'm gonna sound so superficial here, but not having to wear a mask. I am not an anti-masker by any stretch of the imagination. I'm put on the masks, people, but it'll just be so nice to feel safe enough to do that again.
I feel you, Dave. I feel you, buddy. I tell you what, my skin goes all funny. I never knew that was a thing. Now I know it's a thing. Mask.
Really?
The new normal. I tell you what, Dave, you've led us beautifully into the next part of our show because I know you're both aware of this. We're all about the games on this show. And I know that you've been watching the last couple of weeks. So I feel like you've got a bit of an idea about what's coming. Alrighty. The game we're playing today for the third and final time is a safe distance, the game, which is what we've played over the last couple of weeks. Now, we love this game, but we know that you've seen it. So guess what? We changed it. But as a refresh, I'm going to be a nice little host here. The basic premise of the game is that we give you various life and often completely ridiculous situations and then ask you what is the safe distance to remain clear from that particular said situation. So for our viewers at home, just tuning in, the game is very simple. And this will be our little first example, alrighty team? I'd ask, what's a safe distance to stay away from the end of a pier during a storm if you cannot swim? And Meg, you'd answer me?
Wait, I should know the answer because there was like a similar question.
Oh, the answer could be anything.
But you shouldn't. I don't think you should be on the pier, especially if you can't swim. Like you'll die.
See how this game works? That's it. The more random the response, the closer you are to what we think is the right answer. Alrighty. Now you guys are going to play together as a team. All right. Now today's just a little different. So given you're the writer and the director of the series, we are just going to assume that you know your cast well. Very well, in fact. So today, we're going to give you the questions that the cast members have come up with for you over the past 2 weekends. And then, you're going to guess what their answer is to that particular question. Does that sound easy? So you've got to read your cast members' minds, basically. Dave, I get the feeling you're going to do well at this game. No pressure at all. So we're going to start with Chris. Are you ready, team? Let's see how well you know Chris.
Hey, Dave and Meg. Miss you guys.
Oh my God.
I want to know what a safe distance is from seeing the love of your life for the first time on a bus.
So, what would a safe distance be for that one? What do you think Chris answered there, team? Feel free to collaborate, chat with each other if you need to.
Meg, should we answer this earnestly or sarcastically? Your call.
I mean, my question is, like, that back row of the NJ Transit bus, how many feet is that?
I mean, like, if we're talking about sitting directly next to them, that's not even a measure of feet. That's in, like, inches, if that. But it also depends if, like, do they have COVID? Are they committed to someone else? Like, there are a lot of factors that we have to take into consideration here.
Okay.
And after considering said factors, your answer would be?
I answer earnestly, Dave, but you give the answer.
The safe answer for me, the answer for me would be COVID rules, 6 feet still applies.
We're locking in 6 feet. Please lock in 6 feet.
And the answer
Chris,
is...
what is this answer?
Just a chair length.
Oh! Yeah,
it was a warm-up. It was just a warm-up. Yeah. It's like, you're stretching out before a big game. That's all. We're just stretching out before a big game. Alrighty. You were close enough. 6 inches a chair. It's about that. Alrighty. Are you ready? Here's number 2. For the second question, we throw to Jason.
Distance when you're going to get your Starbucks coffee in the mornings if you go in person.
Starbucks morning team? What's a safe distance?
6 feet.
Also 6 feet, but if you could go be even further than that, that would also be great because I cannot. That's one of my pet peeves is when people stand on top of people in lines. Like I don't want to feel you breathing down my neck. I don't.
6 feet plus. Jason,
if I'm gonna have you breathe on me, I want you to have consented to that.
That's a good call. That's a really good call too. No free breath here. No free breath here. Let's see what Jason said.
You shouldn't be getting coffee during the pandemic. Make it at home. Jeez.
Jason,
there's nothing else to be said. That is a Jason answer, is it not? But I feel like what you said, the breath thing there, Dave, the extra 6 feet, that's kind of the same. You're in the same vein. We're right there. We're on the verge. I've got this one. I've got a feeling that you guys are going to knock this one out of the park. Michelle, over to you.
Hi, Dave and Meg. I love you. And I want to know, what's a safe distance from an ex?
Ooh, the controversy.
Are we? Well, so that also depends. What was that, Meg? I couldn't hear you.
I said, is it possible to like go to the other side of the country, like, or even on the other side of the world?
This could be an answer.
Well,
this could be the answer.
Well, okay, like, it depends on, like, what kind of ex is this? Is this the kind of ex where, like, it was an amicable break where we realized you're better off friends than in a relationship? Or is the kind of ex where, and I've written plays about these exes before, where it was just really toxic and you were just never on the same page, and, like, your mental health and your physical sanity are better off without him? If that's the case, then, like, there is no safe distance. Like, he's still on the same planet with you, so...
Dave, I tell you, I feel like my game's nowhere near hard enough for you, my friend. You were definitely right. All the examination of all the angles of the questions. I feel like I need to go home and do my homework again. I'm sorry, teach. I tried. Dave, I love the way you think, Dave. I love the way you think. Michelle, what do you got for us? What's the safe distance from the ex?
And the answer we were looking for is never far enough.
Ah! You nailed it! You got it! Great job! You don't need to remind me of Sherlock Holmes and Watson here, the way you two work together. It's very impressive. All right,
well,
our very last question. What's that, Dave?
No, there is speculation that Sherlock Holmes was autistic, and I'm autistic myself, so that's not far off.
I think you're way more fun than Sherlock Holmes, at least any of the versions I've seen, Dave. There you go. And now we got that on video. All righty, team, are you ready? This is it. I don't want to build any more pressure than has already been built, but I'm just going to tell you this. This is our very last question, all righty? Robert, if you would, sir.
Hello, Dave and Meg. I have a question for you. My question is, how far should you be from an Applebee's maitre d' if they sneeze?
Meg! That's a response?
Sorry. Because
what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about the original play Distance. There was a whole Applebee's scene, and it didn't make it into the web series. So I feel like
yes, it did. It just didn't. It just didn't take place in the Applebee's.
Right. Exactly.
So then you guys have the answer to this.
I mean, aside from get the heck out of the Applebee's, also, why are you eating inside a restaurant during a pandemic? Outdoor seating, okay, maybe, possibly, but like, and also, if you sneeze, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have COVID, but that does still spread germs, so maintain 6 feet, maybe exceed 6 feet, I don't know.
I will also say 6 feet, but another answer could be, why are you in a restaurant? You should be taking that home or getting it delivered. So
yes,
maybe that's it.
You guys have definitely warmed up. I see you warmed up nicely. Robert, hit us with the last one, buddy.
Wrong. The answer was actually, you shouldn't be near them because you shouldn't be inside of an Applebee's, and also we cut Applebee's from distance after the workshop.
Did you call it or did you call it? Round of applause, you legends. Great work. Oh, I'll tell you about another 10 of those questions. You would know the question before I even thought it, the way you two were working. Yeah, that was brilliant. There you have it, team. That was our very last game of the week, a safe distance, the guessing game this week. And what a sterling job both Meg and Dave did under such pressure, no less. Meg, Dave, thank you so much for joining us today. It was too much fun getting to know you, and even more fun getting to know how in tune you are with the stars of your web series. It's like a whole Sixth Sense going on there. Now, team at home, remember to keep up with all the workings of Meg and Dave, including the links to A Safe Distance, the web series. Just look below. I tell you this every week because we put all the information down there. But before we let you both shimmy on out of here, Meg, can I start with you? Can you shed some light for us on what's coming up next for you, my dear?
Oh boy, I'm just gonna keep creating in whatever capacity I can. So I'm messing around on TikTok. Check me out at Just Another Meg. I'm gonna try to make my cat Freddie a star. Hopefully we can do that. She's sleeping right now, but that makes cute content. So yeah, just gonna keep creating and get through this pandemic and make it to the other side. That's what I'm focusing on right now.
Just keep smiling, Meg. Please just keep that smile coming as well. On top of all the other stuff, Freddie's gorgeous too, but just keep smiling, my dear. We love seeing it. Dave, over to you. I mean, you don't seem to have a second to spare, but what's the big stuff you got coming up?
Yeah, so, well, actually, this is coming up really soon. So I have a Theater for Youth play about special needs children called The Dummy Class. That is a finalist for the Notre Dame College Performing Arts New Play Festival. And that reading is going to be taking place on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day at 8 o'clock Central Time, I think. And it'll be broadcast on YouTube. I will post the info on my Twitter account, assuming I remember to do that. And then after finishing my graduate program, so I'm currently a resident playwright with a neurodivergent theater company called Spectrum Theater Ensemble, and I'm going to be working on some really exciting projects with them. So, yep, that's what's next for me.
Dave, I'm honestly sitting over here wondering when it is you might actually get time to sleep. You are working on so many things and they all sound fantastic. Please do us a favor. Give us all the info so we can put it down below. That way we can keep pushing people to all the awesome projects you're on. Now, we are almost out of time and the boss keeps yelling at me in my ear. However, if there's one thing we do on this show, the show, better than anybody else does anywhere, bar none, looking at you, Jimmy Fallon, we like to celebrate stuff. And Dave, a little birdie, or many birdies, have told me, my friend, that it's happy birthday to you today, sir. Is that right?
Oh,
here's a little something I prepared
yes.
earlier. Yeah. Let me just do something you probably shouldn't do on camera, and that's spark a fire. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Dave. I'm getting way too close to the camera with fire. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Dave. Let me put that down before I set everything else in here on fire too, and I'm going to get in a lot of trouble, right? And kids, it is not okay to start a fire. Can I just say this to you, bro? It is not okay to start a fire without your parents' permission. Do not start fires. We don't advocate that on the show. We're very responsible. Now I've got that legal bit out of the way. As ever, thank you at home for joining us. Thank you to Meg and Dave for another week. I hope you had as much fun as we did, as we always do. Hello, and please remember, if you have an artist or content creator that you're following, drop their name in the comments below, because you know what we're going to do? We'll get your question, we'll get them on a show, and we will get them answering just like we did with the team today. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the show. You've got to do both of them. And also remember, I was reminded of this, we are live. So, what is it? You hit the bell icon? You hit the bell icon, and that gives you notifications that we're going live. I'm a tech whiz. There it is. That's what I was waiting for. There's that bell icon. That way you will never miss an episode, which would be absolutely horrible. Don't miss an episode. All right. I mean, I know we're supposed to go, but Dave, we just got a little something for you. Don't hate us, buddy. Bro, can you do your magic with the camera thing? Oh,
Happy
there's
birthday,
always
my
more.
friend. Love you, Dave.
Dave, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I am so thankful to know you. I appreciate you writing such a beautiful and awesome script and taking me in and inviting me to be a part of your world. You are so talented. You are so kind and generous and genuine, and I appreciate you. Have a wonderful birthday. you beautiful human being.
Happy birthday, Dave. I am so grateful for your friendship, for your artistry, and all the incredible work that you put out into the world. Keep doing your thing, and I hope I can give you a big hug when this is all over.
Happy birthday, Dave. I love you, and I'm so proud of all the work you've accomplished over 2020 and into 2021. You mean the world to me. Love you.
Hey, Dave, don't ever doubt it, buddy. Special things for special people.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you.
Love
Happy
you, Dave.
birthday,
You
my
are
friend. Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Love you.
Thank you again
Love
for
y'all
joining us,
too.
Megan, Dave. And again, one more time, absolutely amazing work with the web series. Congratulations. Until next time, show family. Remember, have fun, stay safe, and stay beautiful, gorgeous kids.